Fire at a Madison repair shop, all we know so far. And a shots fired called on Madison's west side. We hear what police have to say. And Sun Prairie has their second school board president resign of the year. We'll follow up with that in just a sec. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jalen Banks. Just a few hours ago, the Madison Fire Department responded to a camper fire on the city's east side. Now take a look. The camper was an auto repair shop at the time. The fire department responded to the 2200 block of South Stoughton just before 6 this evening. A portion of Helgeson Drive was shut down for the duration of the fire. The cause of the fire is currently unknown. Madison police are investigating a shots fired call on the city's far west side on Saturday night. Officers responded to the 5400 block of Mineral Point Road just before 8 p.m. Numerous people on scene were located, but police say it does not appear anyone was hit by gunfire. Police say no arrests have been made at this time, and the investigation is ongoing. Anyone with any information is asked to contact the Madison Police Department at 608-255-2345 or the Madison Area Crime Stoppers at 608-266-6014. Police on Friday arrest a woman on tentative charges of abuse and neglect of patients and residents in connection with a caregiver abuse investigation involving a 23-year-old nonverbal adult with an intellectual disability. The 67-year-old was arrested and booked into the Dane County Jail. Sun Prairie School Board President Katie Komoku stepped down Monday. The Sun Prairie Area School District says Komoku resigned to spend more time with her family. This is the second resignation this year. On Monday's board meeting, software engineer and Sun Prairie father Isaac Sung filled Steve Ursul's position after Ursul's resignation in July. This as the district continues to face backlash on the way it handled former Dean of Students Robert Gilkey-Meisinger's arrest. A federal grand jury has indicted Gilkey-Meisinger on Wednesday. He's charged with producing, attempting to produce, and possessing child sex abuse material. Sung says he wants to bring more transparency to the board.
All the hurt and the pain and the complex emotions that the public is having, a lot of mistrust with the district and mistrust of the school board itself. So I think trying to repair those relationships is one of my first steps and one of the biggest priorities for me.
If convicted on all of the charges, Gilkey-Meisinger could go to prison for several decades. Just hours after a Minnesota Catholic school shooting on Wednesday, Democratic members of the state legislature announced legislation prohibiting guns on college campuses, affording them the same gun-free categorization as K through 12 schools. During the announcement, Madison Senator Kelda Roys commented on the tragedy in Minnesota.
First of all, our thoughts are with everyone who's been impacted by gun violence across this country, and certainly our neighbors in Minneapolis who have seen 3 shootings in the last 24 hours, including one at a school this morning.
We'll continue to keep an eye on that. Let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what should we expect as we head into Labor Day?
It's going to be another pleasant evening and a pleasant day as we continue to make our way through this extended weekend. Low 50s tonight for most, but some of us will slip into the upper 40s. And like last night, going into this morning, some patchy fog may be possible, especially for folks further to the north and west, or especially along the Wisconsin River and in some of those valleys out in western parts of Wisconsin. When we look ahead to Labor Day, another gorgeous day, plenty of sunshine, light winds. We really got treated to very nice conditions, not only Saturday, but Sunday and further into Monday. And that's going to continue actually into Tuesday as well. Temperatures may even get into the low 80s before they all come tumbling down, as we've been talking about over the last couple of days. That system going to impact us starting Tuesday night. We'll talk about that in the full forecast. But first, Jalen and folks at home, we're already beginning to slip into those mid to upper 50s across most of southern Wisconsin into Dane County. Most of us hanging right around 57 degrees. As I mentioned, some fog will be possible tonight, but all eyes are on that system midweek. We'll talk more in depth about that in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. And as always, you can track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It is hourly planners, road conditions, and even radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. The Southern Wisconsin Art Guild, or SWAG, hosted Paoli Art in the Park at the historic Paoli Park. This art fair features dozens of experienced artists who create through mediums such as painting, metal and wood sculpting, photography, and more. Earlier, we caught up with one of the vendors on the art they create.
I do mainly abstracts. I do a little bit of what I call semi-abstract, which is some of the work that you'll see behind me here. I find inspiration all around me. Sometimes it's nature, sometimes it's other artists, to be honest, and sometimes you just start and you have one idea in your head and the art takes you in a whole different place.
The event wrapped up at 4 and we'll be back next year. Many fans who attended the Badgers opening night win over Miami of Ohio on Thursday noticed the massive construction project next to Camp Randall. That's the site of the Badgers' new indoor athletic complex. Our Eric Franke earlier this week got an exclusive progress check on the construction with athletic director Chris McIntosh and his team.
To have a role in the construction of a project like this, generations of student athletes can benefit from is, from my perspective, it's just an honor.
You can see the future rising along Monroe Street.
It's super exciting because this facility is going to change the lives of a lot of young people, and it's going to be really transformational to our athletic department.
Jason King is the UW's Associate Athletic Director for Capital Projects. He's overseen a number of them through the years, but this
is the biggest capital project that Wisconsin Athletics has ever done.
Football is at the center of this nearly $300 million project, but in reality, from strength training to sports medicine to every calorie they consume, this place will impact every Badger student athlete.
Virtually all of our student athletes will be affected by this project in one way or another, impacted. There's a concentration of sports, football, soccer, both tracks, volleyball, that are just more concentrated in the Camp Randall footprint. They'll have more of a day-to-day. It's a generational project.
A project that also means hundreds of local jobs.
All of our fabricators and material suppliers and where the steel is fabricated, all of that comes together. There's probably easily 400 people that are touching this project right now, and only a fraction of them are actually here on site.
Jeremy Schechterly got his engineering degree at the UW back in 1999. Now a vice president at J.P. Cullen, his team is keeping everything on schedule as the 2025 football season kicks off.
So an event in the middle of construction is kind of chaos. So how we manage that, control that, plan that within our plan is what ultimately makes a whole lot of this success.
A unique project in a unique city and an historic venue comes with plenty of equally unique challenges. Just 5 of those towering trusses left to go.
So we can only haul them through this city at certain times of day.
Right.
So they actually show up in 4 pieces at 4:30 in the morning. And we have a crew here that unloads them, sets them on the rack that you see over there to stage them in a way that they can do some detailing before they get erected into halves and then hoisted into place.
And while the aging McLean Center serves its purpose for 1 more year, soon the UW will again take a backseat to no one when it comes to providing for its student athletes.
We look at it probably less as an arms race and more as how can we provide facilities that are going to allow our student athletes to have the best experience they can while they're at UW.
This project will provide us with so much flexibility and really allow us to remain strong in a way that supports our mission. And broad-based opportunity, all of our students will in one form or another be positively impacted by this, and it allows us to remain on good footing going forward.
Phase 1 will be done next summer. Then they'll demolish the McLean Center to make way for the new Student Athlete Performance Center, which will complete the Kellner Family Athletic Complex by summer of 2027. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Blaze returns with a complete look of your first warn forecast. And Israel's security cabinet is considering a plan to seize Gaza City. Plus, the White House is ramping up threats to send federal resources into several cities, including Chicago.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for staying with us. To the Middle East now. Tonight, Israel's security cabinet is considering a plan to seize Gaza City, with attacks around it intensifying this weekend. CBS's Imtiaz Tiab is in our London bureau and has the latest.
First responders desperately dig through the rubble to find survivors after an Israeli airstrike on Gaza City. Eyewitnesses told CBS News' team on the ground that at least 3 missiles were fired on this building, devastating the area and burying several people. The limp, dust-covered bodies of children could be seen being rushed to nearby ambulances. Since Saturday, at least 43 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks, according to hospital sources, most in Gaza City. Israel has been intensifying strikes across the area ahead of a planned invasion. The UN has repeatedly warned that a complete Israeli military takeover of Gaza City would risk, quote, catastrophic consequences for Palestinian civilians and Israeli hostages. World Food Program head Cindy McCain, who has just returned from Gaza, told CBS's Face the Nation what she saw.
I saw a lot of devastation. I saw a lot of hunger. I saw people waiting in long lines for water, and there's clear desperation in the hearts and minds of the people there because there just is not enough food.
According to Israeli media reports, Israel is also planning to suspend the already meager shipments of humanitarian aid that is now making it into Gaza. Earlier this month, an independent United Nations body declared famine in parts of the devastated Palestinian territory, describing the catastrophic hunger there as, quote, man-made.
NPR's Time, CBS News, London.
A flotilla of 20 ships with delegations from 44 countries, including Swedish climate change activist Greta Thunberg, has set sail from Barcelona to the Gaza Strip loaded with humanitarian aid. It's part of efforts to not only get desperately needed supplies into Gaza, but also an attempt to break Israel's years-long blockade of territorial waters. Costco's controversial shopping policy will officially take effect on Monday. Back in June, the warehouse chain allowed shoppers with executive membership to enter the store from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. during the week. That meant other customers had to wait until after 10 to shop. The company says the policy was not strictly enforced, but now Costco says its grace period is ending and the policy will take hold on Labor Day. Some customers aren't happy with the change. They say the company is favoring its higher-paying members and alienating the rest. A major Verizon service outage across the country has been resolved. At least 22,000 outages were reported Saturday on the disruption tracker website Down Detector. Most users who lost service saw their iPhones display an SOS or SOS-only message at the top of their screen. The cities most affected include New York City, Boston, Tampa, Miami, and Chicago. The San Francisco Chronicle reported that Verizon said the outage was due to, quote, a software issue. The White House is ramping up threats to send federal resources into several cities, including Chicago. But Governor J.B. Pritzker is accusing the president of creating mayhem.
The governor of Illinois says the Trump administration has not shared details on plans to send military forces into his state.
Any kind of troops on the streets of an American city don't belong unless there is an insurrection, unless there is truly an emergency. There is not.
The White House claims the National Guard is needed to stop violent crime in Chicago. CBS News has learned the Trump administration plans to increase immigration enforcement in the Windy City as soon as this week.
We hope that they don't send any troops along with ICE. And if they do, they'll be in court pretty quickly because that is illegal.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who didn't disclose details of the operation, said Republican-led states are also being considered.
Absolutely. Every single city is evaluated for what we need to do there to make it safer.
The president focused on another issue this weekend: how Americans cast their vote, promising to sign an executive order expanding voter ID requirements and ending mail-in voting with limited exceptions, issues that have irritated the president in the past.
And we should go to paper ballots. We should go to one-day voting.
At least 9 states had more than 50% of votes cast by mail in the 2024 election. President Trump won 3 of those states. Now, the White House did not reveal details about the president's executive order, but the Constitution says the power to carry out federal elections belongs to the states. Willie James Inman, CBS News, the White House.
Now let's get a look at your first one forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
And we're looking at the nice conditions to continue into not only Labor Day, but Tuesday as well. Both days, plenty of sunshine, light winds. Tuesday, though, those winds turn out of the southwest, and that kicks our temperatures just a little bit warmer, say from the mid to upper 70s to more the upper 70s to low 80s. So a nice start to getting back to work, sending the kids off to school after this long weekend. And then as we head into the second half of next week, it's going to be not only rainy, but it's going to be windy, and it's going to be a little bit cooler, to say the least. We're also going to be dealing with some fog as we wake up on Monday. So if you're sending friends or family back home, or you're heading back home and maybe you want to hit the road early, whether you're just driving across central or southern Wisconsin or you have to go somewhere else, know that you're going to be dealing with some potentially patchy but thick fog through at least 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then that should burn off, leaving us with plenty of sunshine, as I mentioned, for the rest of Monday, Labor Day, and into Tuesday as well. And then one of two low pressure systems begins to impact us. Starting later Tuesday night throughout Wednesday, a cold front is going to swing on through, bring us our heaviest rain along with some breezy northwesterly winds as we go Thursday into Friday. Thursday is going to be the coldest over the next 7 days. Temperatures might not even get into the low 60s. We remain dry for the most part on Thursday, maybe an isolated shower or two. And then Thursday night into Friday, another quick moving low pressure system will scoot through more of our neighborhood. The first low is going to stay more to southern Canada. This isn't going to bring as much rain, but it's going to reinforce the cooler air. Northwesterly winds with that second low is also going to keep that kind of mild fall-like air overhead as we go into the first weekend of September. In terms of rain totals, the dark blue is about 1/2 inch and the dark green is about 1/4 inch. So we're looking at more of that heavy rainfall to stay off to our north and east. Isolated spots nearing 1 inch can't be ruled out, especially further north and east. But as I mentioned, I think the heaviest rain is going to fall Tuesday night through Wednesday night. And then the cool temperatures move on in, anywhere between 10 to 15 to almost 20 degrees below average Thursday through that first weekend of September. Again, that second low pressure system Friday is just going to reinforce this cooler air sticking overhead as we go into next week. But it may not be all bad. I've seen some comments out there posting about the cool down, that maybe it'll help get rid of some of these bugs. So maybe we'll say goodbye to some of these bugs that have been scooting around parts of central and southern Wisconsin. Probably gonna not bode well for the Chinese mantis that Jody saw up in Stoughton, the largest praying mantis in the United States, some getting up to 5 inches long. It was brought over accidentally from Asia in the late 1800s and has just become this big bug that lives here. So there's a little history for you about the Chinese mantis. There's a look at your 10-day forecast. We do look to dry out starting next Saturday, and we remain dry through that following Wednesday.
Yeah, I've got a pretty big shoe if I come across any of those pretty big bugs.
No, praying mantises are so good. Except for those Chinese mantises, if they get big enough, they can eat hummingbirds and small snakes.
So what you're telling me is...
Don't kill them.
Be prepared.
They are scary. And then, there's no native praying mantises to Wisconsin. We take some from the Chinese mantis, and then we take some from the Carolina mantis, which is a little bit smaller.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you read like a book on this, or where'd you get all this knowledge from?
I know a wide array of animal facts.
Fair.
That was probably a male Chinese mantis. Its thorax wasn't as big. Females about this time, they're ready to lay the egg, so they're a little bit bigger.
Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, next time you were about to squish one.
Whenever I'm at like trivia night and a mantis fact comes up,
you'll know.
I learned that from Blaze. All right, sounds good. And coming up in sports, the Brewers looking to stay hot this Labor Day weekend against the Blue Jays. Two of the best in all of the MLB face off.
Back on it is Lucas, back, and gone. Bryce Terang.
Texas and UW women's volleyball have been two of the best programs in the country the past several years, both claiming national championship titles in recent years. The two Titans would face off this afternoon at the Kohl Center. We head to the second set of this top 10 matchup. Texas up 3. We find ourselves in the middle of a rally, and the Badgers would return it. They set up Una Vacic. who hammers it home. And then we head to the third set. Badgers looking to stay alive, and they're able to return the kill, but the Longhorns will set it up, have another go at it, and this time they would get it to go. The Longhorns are just too much for the Badgers today. They win it in straight sets. The Brewers and the Blue Jays battle it out in Toronto this Labor Day weekend. The two have two of the best records in all of baseball, and they're both looking to stay hot. We head to the top of the third. Brewers down 1. Bryce Terang at the plate, and he would get a shot down left field, and he would go all the way for the home run single. And then later in the frame, William Contreras at the plate with 1 on. Brewers down 1, and he hits a shot down right field. And this would bounce off the wall, and he would bring in Jackson Churio for the 1-time score. But the Jays would battle back. Bottom of the 5th, Jays up 1, and Tyler Heineman at the plate, and he responds with a huge hit down left field, bringing in a runner, and they would not look back from there. The Blue Jays go on to win it 8-4 is the final. And a valuable piece to the Bucks is coming back to Milwaukee. Thanasis Antetokounmpo, brother of Giannis Antetokounmpo, is coming back to the team. He last appeared for the Bucks during the 2023-24 season, in which he appeared in 34 games. Thanasis missed all of last season due to an Achilles injury. He's currently playing in Eurobasket for the Greek national basketball team. And the Packers will be on our network next Sunday right here on CBS. The Pack open up the season at home against the Detroit Lions. Kickoff is at 3:25 Central. And as always, stick around for News 3 Now after the game. That's it for sports. A final check of your First One forecast is coming up when we return. The Roses came out fighting in 5th place, beginning its run with $6.4 million. And Freakier Friday fell to 4th place. The comedy sequel made $6.5 million. The action comedy Caught Stealing debuted in 3rd place, opening with $7.8 million. The 50th anniversary re-release of Jaws gobbled up $8.1 million for 2nd place. And Weapons returned to number 1, earning $10.2 million for a domestic total of $135 million. Variety reports the summer movie season ended with an estimated $3.67 billion in revenues, just slightly lower than last summer. I'd take blame for that a little bit. There was a few movies I planned on making it to, but just couldn't get to.
K-pop Demon Hunter ODA, so yo.
I watched that at home, though.
I know, where is it? I thought it was going to be number 1 again.
I know.
It was good. I finally finished it. It was good.
I told you.
It was very good. A quiet and pleasant Labor Day and Tuesday before the rain and the cooler temperatures move in starting Wednesday.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you back here tomorrow.